All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Lone Chemist doing a solo stream. Got this new layout that I've been kind of playing with for a little bit here, so hopefully you guys can see this. All right, so I felt compelled to make an Oscars video. I never do anything like this because I truly do find the Oscars a bit facetious and kind of disingenuous to really talk about because I know that so much of the discourse surrounding the Oscars is so petty, but I felt compelled to talk about this because I don't know, man. Like this was just like the strangest Oscars I've ever seen in my entire life. I know it's like a lot of it is so self-congratulatory. A lot of it is just like stars basically jerking themselves off and going for the lowest common denominator with awards. But man, like this was just like the strangest fucking set of awards I've ever seen in my life. There were a couple good ones that I was very happy to see go to the recipients, but honestly, like it was just the strangest state of affairs. So what I'm gonna do in this video, it won't be too long. I'm gonna go through every single award that was given out, say what was well deserved, say what was shit, and say what was a snub, and all the above. All right, so this is a fucking, let's see. Yeah, this is a thing from the New York Times. Making sure I'm still live here. And I pull up the live chat too, just so we can, see this shit. Pop out chat. All right, sweet. All right, so, honestly, I was not really even looking forward to this Oscars that much. I mean, truth be told, I really wasn't, because I knew that my favorite movie, Vice, was not going to win shit because it's so polarizing. But there were a couple things that I really just thought were just shoo-ins to win. And the fact that Roma did not win Best Picture is honestly sacrilegious to me. Like it's honestly like Roma is a beautiful film. Like even if you don't like the kind of slow burner art house film, the fact that Green Book won Best Picture over Roma is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like honestly, I'm dead serious. Um, like just it pissed me off. Like it really did. Like Roma is a beautiful film. Um, honestly, like the only solace that I can take in that Best Picture award is that Black Panther and Bohemian did not win. And honestly, like if Bohemian fucking won, I would be a lot more angry if Black Panther won. I would honestly, I was fine with every other movie winning besides fucking Bohemian Rhapsody because it was legitimately a bad film and it was nostalgia pandering and all this shit. But then, of course, now that it hasn't won, I look at the actual quality of the film that won and I'm like, how? How could Green Book win? It was the most vapid fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. All right. So, all right, let's go through these. Oh shit! I need to find one with like all the fucking nominations too. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start from the top. Best Picture, we already talked about it. So Black Panther and Bohemian, those were the only two films that I would get actually genuinely angry if they won Best Picture. The other ones, I was fine with. Like Star Wars Born, vapid and cutesy, but an actual quality movie. Black Klansman, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Um, Vice, you guys know that I'm a complete, Adam McKay shill, so I will pretty much like anything that he does. And I for one, thought that Vice was brilliant. I didn't see The Favorite, but I heard that it was fantastic, and I love Yorgos as a director, so I want to see it soon. Um, but yeah, man, like Green Book, like, fuck me, man. This was just like, this is my problem with award shows. Like, I know that it's a subjective medium, but they're treating it like there's some kind of objective, quantifiable criteria for a film to win Best Picture. But I feel like with this year, Like, it was just the most mishmash collection of films I've ever seen. And the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody even won as many awards as it did tonight kind of proves that point. So, yeah, let's keep going through this shit. All right, so Best Picture, we all know, complete crock of shit. Actor in a leading role, this one broke me. This really broke me. Now, I have not seen At Eternity's Gate, so I can't really comment on Willem Dafoe. I saw all 4 of these movies. So I saw Green Book, I saw Star Wars Born, I saw Vice, I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought for sure that Christian Bale was going to win. I thought it was 100% guarantee. Because whether you like Vice or not, whether you enjoy the movie or not, I understand it falls on party lines for a lot of people. I understand that maybe it's not your kind of movie. It's a bit irreverent and it's a bit it's not really the normal kind of biopic. It's very zany, and I understand. I completely understand that if you do not like Adam McKay's style and his voice and his irreverence, you're not going to like the film. But you cannot deny that Christian Bale was transcendently good in that film. He was incredible. Christian Bale gave one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life in Vice. And again, regardless of subjective opinions about the film, he gave an amazing performance. And Rami, I felt like it was a good performance for sure, but it felt more like an impression than it did like he was actually embodying the character of Freddie Mercury, in my opinion at least. Maybe because I went into the movie not really wanting to like it, but I just really thought that Christian Bale embodied Dick Cheney a lot more vividly than Rami Malek did for Freddie Mercury. I really believe that. So that one honestly was I can't say it wasn't expected. Maybe it's disingenuous. I can't say it wasn't unexpected because, Rami won at the Golden Globes, which was just that was really surprising in and of itself. But yeah, man, like that just really, that broke me. I was really I don't get upset over award shows. They're fucking stupid. Like, they're award shows. But for the one that I really wanted to see win, there hasn't been a role that Christian Bale has done that he deserved an Oscar for more than Vice, in my humble opinion. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. That pissed me off. And you can tell even I think even the Academy knows it was a crock of shit, because look at the clips that they used for the the promos, like Christian Bale, Vice. And the clip they used it's supposedly one of the most dramatic parts of the film for each of the nominations. And the clip they use for Christian Bale was him speaking directly into the camera in a fourth wall break where he is vividly portraying the problems that Dick Cheney went through when he was the vice president of the United States. And it was a dramatic, contemplative, and cathartic scene in the film. And then for fucking Rami Malek's clip, as almost like a dichotomous thing, he's just playing Bohemian Rhapsody at the fucking piano, and it's not even his own voice. It's Freddie Mercury's voice. But it's kind of a facetious complaint, but if you look at the movie, Rami just gives a standard performance, in my opinion. And yeah, I was genuinely upset that he won over Christian Bale. That really, really upset me. All right. Next one, Olivia Colman in The Favorite one. I have not seen The Favorite. I heard it's very good, but I heard that she's incredible, and I do like her a lot as an actress. So I don't really have any strong feelings about that. I liked Lady Gaga in Star Is Born. I knew she wasn't going to win. The girl from Roma was great. I knew she wasn't going to win. I did think that Glenn Close was maybe going to win because she got that surprise Golden Globe. And then I didn't see Can You Ever Forgive Me from Melissa McCarthy, but I heard she was actually pretty good in that. But this one seems well-deserved, all things considered. All right. So now, even though I was a massive fan of Vice, I knew for a fact that Sam Rockwell was not going to win as George Bush. His role was too memey, and it was too small for it to be a contender for supporting actor in a role, best supporting actor. But he was very good in it. But I didn't expect him to win at all. Adam Driver gave a subtle performance and it was good, but I didn't expect him to win at all. Sam Elliott, I didn't think was going to win. I didn't see Can You Ever Forgive Me, so Richard Grant, I think was, probably going to be out. I didn't really hear much about his performance. And Mahershala Ali, I mean, even though I was not the biggest fan of Green Book, I did like his performance in it. It was reasonably subtle and it was pretty good. So that one I think is well deserved. So I also did not see Beale Street. So I can't really comment on these three: Emma Stone, Rachel Weisz, and Regina King. You know how I feel about Vice. I loved Amy Adams as Lynn Chaney, and I also loved Roma too. So, but this seems like I guess, well deserved. I didn't see the movie, obviously, like I already said, but yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the award that I was so happy that this was the turnout for the night. I am elated that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won animated feature. And honestly, I hope it sends a message to Pixar that they cannot pander to their audiences anymore with these really mealy-mouthed sequels that they're trying to turn out, like with Finding Dory and Incredibles 2, and just things that they're trying to just force on the audience. But Spider-Verse was honestly, it was the first animated film that I've ever seen that legitimately took risks. It took risks, and it was an irreverent plot. Because think about it, and I talk about this on the Secret Podcast as well. Into the Spider-Verse is a film that on its face really should not work. It is, first of all, it's a departure from Peter Parker. It's a departure from Spider-Man ever being in a live-action film. It's an animated film. It's a play on particle physics. There are 7 or 8 characters we've never seen before. And all the while, the movie gives this beautiful theme of anybody can be Spider-Man. And you have all those conflicting things in a movie that is just a beautiful work of art. And I am so happy that won. I am elated that won. Yeah. And this is but this comes with kind of a trade-off. I truly believe that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse should have gotten a Best Picture nomination. And let's look at the nominations here. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is much better than Black Panther as a superhero film. It really is. In my opinion, if you like it, that's fine. I'm not saying I hate Black Panther either. But if you're going to take one from every genre, if that's what we're going to view this thing, like a comedy, a musical, a biopic, whatever, Black Panther and Spider-Verse is no competition for me. Spider-Verse is objectively a better film for me. Well, I mean, not objectively, but in my personal opinion, it is a better film. So, yeah. I'm not sure, why the Academy is so selective with their praise of superhero films, but yeah, that's just me. Cinematography, I call that. Alfonso Cuarón was going to win for Roma. It's a beautiful film. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Costume design. So I did not see The Favorite. I did see Buster Scruggs. I did like the costumes in that. I didn't see the Mary Poppins movie, and I didn't see Mary Queen of Scots. I didn't expect Black Panther to actually win for this. I really didn't. I thought some of the costumes were kind of cheesy, but I did predict that Black Panther was going to win production design. So it is what it is. The costume design doesn't really ever oh shit, my food's ready. 1 second, guys. 1 second. All right, sorry guys. Oh, and someone in the chat said actually something very interesting. I don't know why Aquaman wasn't nominated for anything. Yes, the movie sucks, But visual effects and costume design, that movie was a lot better than a lot of things on here. It really was. All right, but I digress. Directing, I thought that Adam McKay would have been a closer contender with Alfonso and Spike, but yeah, I wasn't too bad out of shape over that. Like Vice was a really polarizing film, so I didn't really expect to get that many Oscars except for Christian Bale. But Roma, I thought was well deserved to get best directing for Alfonso Cuarón, so that's okay with that. Okay. I did not see any of the documentaries. I can't really comment on that, but I hear Free Solo is very, very good, so I need to watch that at some point. Again, didn't see a short subject documentary either, but I hear this one's actually pretty good. And this is the most annoying fucking award of the night. This right here. Right here. Film editing. This was the biggest robbery I have ever seen in all of my fucking years. I would have rather, like honestly, I would have rather Black Panther get Best Picture and something else get Best Editing than this happening. Bohemian Rhapsody had some of the worst editing I've ever seen. Worst. Like, it literally looks like a pretentious film student locked himself in a room and did lines of Adderall and cocaine until he couldn't feel his face, and then he tried to edit on Final Cut Pro. That's literally what the film, like that is literally what the fucking film felt like. It was like the only reason this won for fucking film editing, the only reason is because they had the entire film set to music and they cut it to the rhythm and the beat of the music. That is the only reason this won Best Editing. For everything else, the conversations, the rehearsal scenes, the musical scenes when they're actually playing the music instead of just playing the song over the loudspeakers, every one of those instances of film editing is fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. And when you look at something like Vice, Hank Corwin, first of all, great editor. But Vice's editing was actually genuinely original. Like, say what you want about Adam McKay's style and Hank Corwin's style in the film. Say whatever you want about it. Say whatever you want. Like, that's totally fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But let me ask you this. Do you think that anybody who had a hand in doing anything with Bohemian Rhapsody's editing and the cutting room floor, do you think that they had anything as creative in their up their sleeve as that foot tap edit with George Bush and the guy in Afghanistan in Vice? Do you think that there was anything remotely as creative in the cutting room floor of Bohemian Rhapsody than the fishing edit with Dick Cheney and George Bush in Vice? Like how every time Dick talks to George Bush about the vice presidency, he's baiting Bush. He's baiting Bush into giving what he wants. So every time he talks to him, you see him fly fishing. And then when George Bush finally responds with, that sounds pretty good, you see the rod get taken. Like the juxtaposition of those two things seems so out of the fucking left field. And then you see why those things are put together later in the film. So it was quite upsetting that this film clearly did not deserve film editing. Clearly. And again, the only reason they won is because the cutting was synchronized to the fucking music. And that's all to say about that. This right here, this award, film editing, this was the biggest robbery of the entire Oscars, besides Best Actor. Best Actor was supposed to be Christian Bale, in my opinion. And this was supposed to be anything except for Bohemian Rhapsody. Anything. Foreign language film, I knew it was going to be Roma. I didn't see anything else on here. I heard Cold War is pretty good. Never Look Away is pretty good, but that's beside the point. Vice, thank fucking God this one, because the makeup and the hairstyling in this movie was incredible. So, yeah. I was happy about that. This one, I wouldn't say surprised, but like, I was just happy that Ludwig finally won. The guy really is a baller composer. And say what you want about Black Panther in the terms of the film quality, or the film's quality, rather. The fact that they incorporated tuning of African instruments and drums and wooden instruments and percussive instruments into
the actual into the score of the movie in a really seamless way was really impressive. And it was quite an impressive score, to be honest with you. So every other score in here didn't really do it for me. I mean, I liked Isle of Dogs, but I didn't think it was gonna win. It was too quirky. So I was fine with Black Panther winning the score, and in fact, I was actually pretty happy that Ludwig finally won an Oscar. So that was pretty good. We all knew this is gonna happen. Shallow from Star Wars Born was gonna win. We know that. I will say though that I wish that at least one song from Spider-Verse was nominated. That one was kind of annoying, but whatever. Shallow's a good song. We all know it's a good song. That's fine. Production design, I called it. Black Panther is definitely going to win that for sure. That was probably one of the only good things that I liked about the movie. The fact that it was set in like a very cool and interesting environment. Yeah. Short film, animated. I didn't see any of these, so I can't really comment. But yeah. Again, didn't see any of these. This, yeah. Like, this is the only one that, like, I can kind of see why they gave it to him, because they had to mix all, like, the music and they had to blend Rami Malek's voice and the Freddie Mercury's. But come on, the sound design and the sound editing of A Quiet Place was a lot more compelling, and it actually served the story as opposed to this fucking bubblegum movie that really was just pretty amateur and vapid and bland. So, yeah. Ugh. Sound mixing, Bohemian Rhapsody, whatever. I don't even care. This one genuinely really surprised me. This really, really surprised me. So, I liked First Man. I won't lie. I did like it. I don't think it's Damien Chazelle's best movie at all. But, I don't know. Like, the special effects in that movie didn't really jump out to me in terms of something that could, like, be Oscar worthy. When you look at something like Thanos, with a couple problems aside, he was a completely CGI character, and he was also the best character in the movie. That is something that should not have happened, and it could not have happened unless you had impeccable CGI in that film. Like, that is the only way that something like that would have worked. So, while I thought it was a good surprise that First Man got a Oscar for that, I do think that Thanos, just in and of itself, should have garnered the best visual effects. Yeah. I will say that I don't think Ready Player One has very good visual effects. I think it looks kind of like a PS2 game. I would have rather had Aquaman in there instead of Ready Player One. I was not a huge fan of Solo, but I mean, nothing really stuck out to me with visual effects there. And I did not see Christopher Robin, but apparently it was pretty decent stop motion effects or screen capture effects. So adapted excuse me, adapted screenplay. I thought it was either going to be Cohen or Spike Lee, but yeah, I mean, this was I don't know, it was fine. I didn't really care about this, to be honest with you. This again pissed me off. I thought for sure it was going to be First Reformed or Vice. I didn't see any scenario where, like, Rome was beautiful. It wasn't going to win Best Script. The Favorite, I thought this had a legitimate shot, but I didn't think it was as much of a frontrunner as these two. But again, I didn't see this movie, so I can't really comment. I had not a clue that Green Book was going to win. That it was going to win Best Original Screenplay. I had zero inkling of that whatsoever, and I didn't think it was a possibility. First Reformed and Vice are, in my opinion, infinitely better written than Green Book is. But again, this is my opinion, so whatever. Yeah, this pissed me off. All right, that's all there is, I think. All right, so the Oscars is officially a joke, in my opinion, and this mustache little bitch just ruined it. Fearless lives forever. Fearless lives forever. This movie was not fearless. This movie was not fearless. This movie was a pandering crap fest in which the main character gave a decent performance. But the plot, the writing, all of the intangibles about the film are just absolutely abhorrent. And yeah, this was the weirdest Oscars I've ever seen in my entire life. Legitimately the weirdest one. So yeah. That's pretty much all to say. There were films that I thought were snubbed, which I talked about, and Bohemian Rhapsody does not deserve half of the Oscars that it has. I was happy about Spider-Verse. I was happy about Best Makeup going to Vice. I was surprised by First Man getting visual effects over Infinity War, simply because Thanos is a transcendent character. But yeah. Anyway, that is all my thoughts on the Oscars. And honestly, yeah, the Oscars are becoming more and more obsolete now that like a lot of entertainment critique has moved onto the digital sphere with YouTube and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the Oscars going forward, because clearly they're clinging to relevance with every fiber of their being in the Academy. Anyway, that is all I have to say about the Oscars. So thank you for watching me bitch about Vice being completely shafted. If you have any suggestions for me in the future for what to cover with videos, I got some cool stuff coming up you guys don't want to miss. And yeah, my name is Johnny. I'm the Lone Chemist. Peace. The F out.